Hello, my name is Ashton, and I've been a student with this class for the last 8 weeks, and I just wanted to give the summative blog regarding my experience with this class. So overall, I found it very interesting because of the fact that I hadn't worked a lot with the theory before. I was kind of surprised that Bowditch's book was very theory-based and not a lot of practical application. Unfortunately, I wish there would have been more examples and community-based thinking, such as this is what we've done, this is how would you apply it in this situation, such as increased scenario. I found that the articles that we read were somewhat contributive in giving a little bit more theory basis. However, I didn't feel that it was exponentially beneficial overall, just because of the fact that, again, if someone hasn't had a lot of managerial experience, then you don't really know how to apply this from theory to practical application. But overall, I thought it was a good class. With regards to kind of going week by week, I felt that week 1 was really interesting simply because of the fact that, kind of just learning about the societal change and going through the history. I hadn't realized there was a lot of that. And with regards to managing people, that was very interesting because with increasing productivity and increasing with the unique team base as well as interfaces between the artificial, such as the computer base, and actual team base, such as working side by side, I felt that, kind of managing and being managed were two sides to the same coin. So I kind of felt like, really as we went on in the course and learned a little bit more about the team-based theory and also then more about the practical application with the motivation and the managing meetings as well as the types of groups and how you work with the teams versus a group, that was very important. I felt overall that trying to take the theory and apply it to my job currently was very interesting because I don't actually have a managerial position. I'm just a physical therapist, but my managers have kind of been working a little bit with me more in leadership, so I felt like that maybe in time I may have that managerial position and how I can apply that too. So, the motivation theories with regarding the on-the-job motivation, the special project that we did, I felt that that was a really big key in kind of practical application. How would we have done that ourselves? I also enjoyed the group's comments about the nonverbal communication because that has such a big aspect of group work at this point in time, kind of, and how those relate to the cultural aspects as well. With regards to continuing on in the modules with the fact of creating the types of groups versus the teamwork, the work teams and the intergroup relations, I think that kind of ties back into the original basis of theory that we covered back in the beginning, as well as the idea of perception and attitudes, as well as the personality. While it wasn't really stated that personalities mix and some don't match, there was the comments in the theories about the fact that you have the group pressure to conform, as well as the kind of insiders and outsiders and how they interplay within the team relationships. So I kind of thought that was interesting. Secondly, I thought that with regards to the overall teamwork and the blogs, I felt that the blogs were very useful just because in looking back at them, I feel like, kind of coming from how do I want to be managed to how I feel like I am personality to kind of working more within the handling the conflicts. That kind of ties back into how do you like to be managed and how do you feel that other people should be managed. With the group experiences, while some have been good and some have been bad, I think that also revolves around the intercultural communication as well as the intergroup and personal communication as well. Kind of moving a little bit backwards with regards to managing the idea of kind of ruling and how you do punishment. I think that overall having done the motivational aspect of on-the-job motivation, I think we've realized that to rule with an iron fist, you really can't. You have to be able to play to the motivation, because if you don't play to the motivation, you're not going to get that job well done. And while punishment has been used in the past as a reward, or as, if you fail this, you may get fired, I think that the motivation and negative motivation is what increases the idea of ruling with the iron fist or the punishment, simply because of the fact that people that have different personalities and don't congeal well with others, including their managers, they're going to have problems at work. I know I've had several coworkers that have not gotten along with my managers, and that kind of has issues down the road. But anyway, the idea of punishment, I think, can't be really established at this point in time. You have to kind of go with more of the motivation aspect and seeing how how personality plays into the effect. I don't personally agree that the ocean concept with the personality would be good to do within the job, because you may say what you don't want to say, but overall I think it could be okay. With regards to the article, I found it very interesting. With regards to the article, I found it interesting about the fact of the white emotions only. I know in the paper I had made comments that I haven't had experience with the quote-unquote white emotions that the minority populations, not underserved, but the minority populations have experienced. I think overall in applying it, it's just kind of working alongside of the motivation, the communication, nonverbal management at this point, that if I have that experience in the future, kind of be a little bit more aware that it can be frustrating for minority groups to feel that they can say anything with regards to the white premise and the majority of them at work. So in this case, I think that when I go into a managerial role, kind of be a little bit more aware of the cultural backgrounds as well as the race backgrounds. We had talked a lot about that in the class, about the cultural differences and intercultural differences, but never so much about the fact of the race differences. So I think kind of using that going forward will be good for managerial role. So that is it. Thank you so much. Bye.